Ladies and gentlemen, we do admire your enthusiasm, but for safety reasons, can you make sure that the boxers can hear the referee, please? Thank you.
Well, coming up to halfway through ABA finals night at the York Hall. This could be really explosive. The right hand from over top with counter punch.
Here comes Zaggy, last year's champion of World Cup. That's away, does the display of the referee. That's a six.
Cagey, cerebral stuff, this.
And it's been stopped. Not too far from the end. That's very sad for Catley. He's done so well, but referee can try.
This film is about the new disciplinary procedures in England boxing.
Jeff, give us 2 minutes, yeah? All right, mate.
Meet Lenny.
You're right.
He owns Islington Boxing Club.
England boxing have some new procedures that have been brought into place, and they ensure the fairness, integrity and openness to everyone, to the boxer and to the coaches and to the clubs itself. Unfortunately, at any club you will come across that there's going to be some disciplinary problems that you need to deal with. It's just a fact of life. All right, Jeff, you can get on with it now.
Meet Gordon. He's the England Boxing Compliance Officer.
Within the disciplinary procedures, my role is to advise and support and perform the functions described in the procedures as the EB officer and the responsible person. I am fully supported by the England Boxing Compliance Committee and also by England Boxing lawyers.
Meet Daniel. He's England Boxing's lawyer.
So the new disciplinary procedure is intended to update the existing one and to bring it into line with current best practice. There are two real areas of difference. The first is really in the form, and the old procedures were in some respects lengthy and at times cumbersome to administer, and although they were perfectly adequate, those are areas that England Boxing were always looking to improve. The other change is slightly more substantive, which is that under the old procedures it was possible for disciplinary charges to be brought in England Boxing's name without England Boxing necessarily being directly involved. In the current climate where national governing bodies are under intense scrutiny and also the subject of significant public funding, clearly it's considered prudent now for England Boxing to have greater oversight and visibility, but also to provide greater support for the regions and the clubs and to try and help manage the risks that come with administering a disciplinary procedure.
The complaint. A complaint can be made by any member of England Boxing, as well as anyone who is actively involved in the sport or indeed England Boxing itself. A complaint must relate to an alleged breach of the England Boxing Code of Conduct or some other serious type of misconduct. The Code of Conduct prohibits breaches of the England Boxing's Articles of Association, requires members to abide by the UK anti-doping rules and also require members not to act against the interests of England Boxing and not to bring the sport into disrepute. Complaints should be made in writing and sent into England Boxing within 3 months of the person who is making the complaint becoming aware of the issue they're reporting. The compliance officer is the person at England Boxing who is the point of contact, responsible for all disciplinary matters, and will make the decision whether an investigation is to take place and whether it is investigated by England Boxing or club or region. It is important that the procedure is only used for real disciplinary issues. There is, therefore, a filtering process by England Boxing. The complaint must relate to an actual disciplinary issue and have substance. An independent person will be appointed to carry out the investigation. This person is called the responsible person. They will be responsible for administrating all the various steps on behalf of England Boxing. The investigation. The basic steps of the responsible person will be to collect all evidence, and it is important that all available evidence is collected to provide a balanced, reasonable and fair investigation. This will involve contacting all witnesses, collecting physical evidence including written material or, for example, film footage. This process will be handled proportionately and in a sensitive manner, especially where there are confidential issues. It is important, though, that all evidence is preserved by those involved or affected by the complaint. Once the investigation work is concluded, which should normally be within 12 weeks, a report will be prepared by the responsible person, the investigator, setting out a chronological account of the allegations and the evidence obtained during her or his investigation, together with consideration of whether there is a case to answer in relation to the alleged misconduct. It will be England Boxing, through its HR, Legal and Compliance Subcommittee, who will decide whether there is a case to be pursued or not. It has 28 days from receipt of the investigation to do so. There may be occasions when the subcommittee decides that further inquiries are needed in the interest of fairness. This can be to take no further action, or to deal with the matter informally, or to hold a formal disciplinary hearing and prefer formal charges. The timings. England Boxing has 28 days from that point whether to prepare charges or not, and if it decides that it does, then it has a further 28 days to send out a charge letter. This will set out exactly what the offence or offences is or are alleged. From that point, the respondent has a further 28 days to provide their response. Ordinarily, the matter then will be heard before a disciplinary panel within 12 weeks of the respondent providing their response. The panel. If a panel is formed, it will be comprised of 3 people appointed by England Boxing. One is a member of England Boxing for 5 years standing. One who is not a member but has significant experience of another sport or technical expertise in an area such as medical, financial or child protection, for example. Lastly, one who is legally qualified in the procedures, and they will serve as the chairman of the panel. The panel can decide the case in 2 ways. If the charges are admitted and the sanction is likely to be a limited one, as long as the respondent agrees, there doesn't need to be a hearing and the matter can be decided through the summary procedure. Alternatively, if the sanctions are disputed or likely to lead to a more serious sanction, then a hearing will take place. The possible sanctions. The possible sanctions include a reprimand, a ban from participating in the sport or certain aspects for a period of time, a ban from membership from England Boxing for a period of time, or a fine not exceeding £5,000, and additionally, the respondent who is found guilty of misconduct by the panel can be required to pay the costs of the hearing. Appealing. It is also worth noting that following the disciplinary panel's decision, it is open to both England Boxing and the respondent to appeal if they wish to do so, and it will have to be done within 28 days of the decision. If the respondent wishes to appeal, they have to pay £250, which will be refunded if their appeal succeeds, or otherwise it will go towards the cost of the appeal. The appeal will be administered by Sports Resolutions, which is an independent body, and their decision will be final. But please remember,
these procedures must be used as what they're designed for, and not to hold personal grudges towards anybody, whether that's another boxer, another official or a coach or a club. We must keep all personal issues aside and work the best way for boxers as we can.
Although this film provides a guide to what's expected, further advice and support might be needed. The National Compliance Manager is here to give that advice and support. Any issue regarding discipline within England Boxing, I do encourage you to contact me.
Meet Casper, the chairman of England Boxing.
The job of the national governing body is to protect, to promote and to regulate boxing in England. This new procedure has been written to forge a closer link in disciplinary matters between clubs and regions, and also to make the existing procedure more transparent, quicker and fairer. Please remember that we are a people-led organisation, and any procedure we have must be transparent and completely fair, with a respect for the laws of natural justice, and we believe that is precisely what this procedure does.
England Boxing.